Hey there, and welcome to another great edition of Partners in Education. I'm Brandon Shope here on NHCS TV, and we have so many wonderful community partners here at New Hanover County Schools, including several who help us make sure that each child is fed with a nutritious meal. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, New Hanover County Schools Child Nutrition Department, along with the district bus drivers, have created and delivered more than 1 million meals to area children. Instrumental in assisting with the meal program is Nourish NC, and joining me right now is Executive Director of Nourish NC, Mr. Steve McCrossin. Sir, so good to see you again.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, sir. All right. So you guys, obviously, as we were talking about before, the cameras came on, have been so instrumental, and you've been so busy making sure that all of our kids are fed. Talk to me, a little bit about, for our viewers at home, maybe who haven't heard of your organization, I know a lot have, talk to me a little bit about what you do on a daily basis.
Yeah, so pre-COVID-19, our mission at Nourish NC is to provide nutritious food to hungry and food insecure children right here in New Hanover County.
Sure.
We want to put good food in those kids' bellies so they can do well when they're in your classroom, thrive in the community, and generally live happier and healthier lives, right? Before the pandemic, we were most known for the backpack program that feeds children every weekend and over all school breaks. And really our vision is to be anywhere in the community hungry kids need us. Parks and playgrounds, doctor's offices, you name it, we want to be there, helping our partners like New Hanover County Schools get good food wherever kids need it.
Excellent, Steve. Now, I know, we were talking about the backpack program. Tell me a little bit about, the biggest programs that you guys have, including the backpack program.
Yeah, so the backpack program right now has changed a little bit.
Okay.
It used to send food bags home on the weekends and over all school breaks with children. Now it feeds nearly 1,500 children and their families through a drive-through we opened up just 3 days after the schools closed back in March.
Oh, wow.
So at that drive-through, families can pull up, they never get out of their car, and we load them up with grocery bags full of food, strategic meals, nothing expired, no junk food, big boxes of produce, meat, eggs, and bread. And then over the summer, we've even done board games, face masks, books, hot meals, you name it. We've tried to give anything we can to connect the children with more resources.
Yeah. That's fantastic, Steve. I know that, we've known each other for a long time, many years, but, for the folks at home that, they haven't met you yet, tell them if they are interested in this program, what do they need to do to kind of get their child out there and involved? Is there anything they need to do? Yeah,
so we're extremely low barrier.
Okay.
We want to make this very easy for families and children to get support. So there's two really easy ways to do this. One is to contact Nourish NC directly,
okay,
and they can email programs@nourishnc.org, or they could visit our website, nourishnc.org, and find the information there. And they could also just contact a school social worker or family counselor, and they'll know how to connect them. And there's different programs for different ages, but they're all tailored to make it very easy for the school to operate and very effective for the family. So again, really good hearty meals. We're not just putting anything in these bags. We're really having dietitians review it and picking good meals for the whole family.
Awesome. So now, Steve, what are some of the statistics when it comes to food insecurity in the area?
Yeah, so believe it or not, up until the pandemic, we were doing a little bit better. We're 1 in 5 children in our region struggle with hunger and food insecurity.
Wow.
When I took this job 5 years ago, we were at 1 in 4.
Really?
Now it remains to be seen what this pandemic does to long-term food insecurity. Theoretically, it's probably going to have a negative effect, right? We're probably going to see more families not working and more food insecurity. We also have about 16 or 17,000 people living in food deserts here. So, and a food desert is just a geographic area with high poverty and not a lot of access to good, nutritional, healthy food for a healthy lifestyle.
Okay. That is encouraging to hear that the numbers are getting better. It's still, as you mentioned, even if one child is hungry, that's a horrible thing, but it is encouraging to hear that, and that's a testament to, what groups like you guys are doing, right?
Yeah, and, a lot of it, 1 million meals from y'all, congratulations, that's a huge thing, right? A lot of it's tied to economics. The better the economy is, the better our families and our children tend to be often. So, but yeah, it's easy to focus on negatives sometimes. It has gotten better, and our job at the end of the day is to put ourselves out of business if we can. So, I want to set up Nourish NC so it's here for the next 100 years, but in an ideal world, we don't need to be.
What about the, so I know you just mentioned the COVID-19 pandemic. What has it done, to the landscape? I mean, like you said, it's going to be, quite a bit of time before we see the full ramifications of what it has done when it comes to food insecurity and things like that. But what are the trends that you've noticed?
Obviously the number of kids in our program soared,
Mm-hmm.
and thankfully we were ready for that and continue to be. But on the positive side, you see a lot of groups coming together, just like after Florence. We forged so many relationships with your school social workers and family counselors and principals after Florence, and a lot of those are paying dividends now too, where we already know each other, we know how to work together to get food into our community. And one of the best things I see is your school social workers and family counselors coming to Nourish and filling their trucks, their vans, their cars, and they're delivering food right to their kids' homes. And they don't have to do that. That's because they care about their kids. And that's one of my favorite things to see. And we open our drive-thru again this Thursday morning, and we have social workers signed up to come get there first to deliver that food to their kids. And so, again, it's easy to focus on the negative, and it is a hard time right now. But what I often see is all these groups coming together towards a common cause. And I like to think of Nourish as part of an ecosystem, and we're taking food off the table so our partners can better educate them, better heal them, and better nurture them.
That's wonderful, Steve. Your plans for the rest of this year? I know 2020 it's hard to believe it's coming to a close.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like most of the year we were kind of living in quarantine, and now things are slowly trying to get back to somewhat of a normal. What are your plans for the rest of this year and then also next year as we look ahead to 2021?
Yeah, basically, listen to the people in the school system and listen to our families and what do they need.
Okay.
And we try to start as often as possible saying, what can we do? Where do you need us and when do you need it? And how can we make that very easy for you to get? We don't want to be a burden on people. And so a lot of it is asking social workers, asking teachers, asking principals in the schools, what can we do and how can we make this easier? So our drive-thru will stay open in perpetuity.
It will, okay.
And probably at least through the end of the school year, we anticipate that staying the same way.
Right.
And then every time COVID throws a new curveball, we adjust. Hopefully we continue to get healthier and less cases, but we've made a commitment that no matter what happens, any disaster, that we want to be here for the kids in this community. And we're lucky enough that the people in this community support Nourish NC, so we can do that. Governor Cooper closed the schools on March 14th, and we opened our drive-thru on the 17th. And we were really proud of that. And we had boots on the ground in neighborhoods delivering food, and that's only because this community cares enough to support Nourish NC so we could, in turn, support kids.
Wow, that quick.
Yeah, 3 days. It was
Oh my goodness.
An abandoned building we turned into a drive-thru. So if you remember the old China King buffet on Market Street,
I do.
That very quickly became our drive-thru. So yeah.
Wow. And now, Steve, when it comes to the needs that you guys have right now, how can community members help you guys out, to help get this food out there?
Yeah, there are so many ways to help out. Okay. If folks go to nourishnc.org/take action, you could volunteer at home. We have things you can do at home. You can come volunteer at our distribution. You could pack bags for our kids. You could host a food drive. There are so many ways to get involved, whether it's you and your partner or a group of 20. We constantly need help. Food prices are through the roof, so it's more expensive, so they can donate at nourishnc.org. But every can, every dollar stays in this community and feeds children in this community. So we often say it doesn't get any more local than that.
Wow. Awesome. That is, so I knew, that, folks could obviously volunteer. I didn't know you had it like that though, where you can have 20 people come in at a time and you big groups. I mean, you guys really kind of, set this up for anybody and everybody.
Yeah, historically we used to have 40 people in at a time. Now we're down to groups of 8 in segments. So
okay.
Every hour and a half we have groups of 8 in that are packing bags, and we're like a factory. Those bags are being packed around the clock. So on our website we're always doing something there where people can sign up for. We also have something for the larger groups where you could pack snack packs right inside your home, and it's a juice and 3 snacks for kids at other nonprofits, at schools, and you can go buy that stuff at Sam's Clubs or order it online, pack it right in your home, drop it off to us, and it's safe, and it's an easy way to get food out to kids who need it in this community.
And Steve, as you know, we're approaching the holiday season. The pandemic has made, the entire year really a challenge for a lot of people. It's going to make the holiday season challenging as well. What are you guys doing to kind of gear up for that?
Yeah, so we've, back in February, believe it or not, we ordered a truckload of turkeys. We ordered them that early to save money,
Wow.
believe it or not. So we're going to do our Thanksgiving take and bake dinner
Okay.
for every family in our program, and that is a tinfoil pan to bake everything in. all the dry goods you need, your soups, your stews, your mashed potatoes. Then we put a big old turkey on top of it and all the fresh vegetables you need. So if you have a stick of butter, that family could have Thanksgiving dinner together, and really the dignity of having it around their table, and that's really important to us. And so we call that the grab and go, take and bake. And then for the holidays later on in December, we're working on some special things for our kids right now, like stockings and some interesting things inside of that I can't reveal just yet. But we always want to be in tune to what our families and kids need. And if we have the opportunity to brighten their day with food or something else, we want to take the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, fantastic, Steve. So, whenever it comes to the, you've been doing this for how many years again?
5 years.
5 years, okay. Just want to make sure. All right, so 5 years, what does it make you feel like knowing that, you're a humble guy, I know you are, but seriously, you're making an impact, a real impact in this community and these families' lives? How does it make you feel?
Well, I'll tell you, I took this job 5 years ago, and I love going to work in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally my dream job, and I'm thankful every day that I got it. But nothing happens without a huge team of people. Our board is great. Our volunteers are great. It's 6,000 volunteer hours a year just to run Nourish. There's a great staff. I have 2 other team members there. So there are literally 3 of us running Nourish NC right now. So it takes an army of volunteers who make it happen. And it takes this community that makes it happen with dollars and time and donations. And so I've always said we're very fortunate when we go out there and tell our story, this community responds. And they stepped up after Florence, and they certainly have stepped up after COVID. So I'm grateful to have that support to make it happen.
Yeah, and it's cool, Steve, too, because you're the executive director, but you're out there, doing all the work with all the volunteers. I remember the first time I interviewed you when I was a news reporter. You're out there, had the turkey hat on. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is a cool guy, And since then, just kind of getting to know your organization, get to know you a little bit better. It's a wonderful partnership that we have here with the district. And we couldn't do what we do without you guys.
Yeah, and we're so proud to be a partner of y'all. And again, congratulations on 1 million meals. That's an epic
Steve.
milestone. And thank you for everything you do for our kids.
Thank you, Steve. Always good seeing you.
Yeah,
sir.
you too. Thanks,
Yes,
Brandon.
sir. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Partners in Education. We appreciate you being here with us today. Now, if you'd like to find out more information about Nourish NC or maybe to donate, you can also visit nourishnc.org right now or call 910-465-0995. Thanks again for joining us for another edition of Partners in Education, as always. And for everyone here at NHCS TV, I'm Brandon Shope. Have a great week and stay safe.